Hi, I'm Dr. Genevieve, and I'm here to hear about a new men's group that my husband Matthew and Daniel, who is a teacher of yoga philosophy, will be running, and it's starting later this month. So they've just run a 1 month course called The Power to Relate, and now they're going to be offering monthly men's groups. And men's work is something that I really believe in. So I'm really interested to hear more from you both about why you're doing this work, what drew you to do this work. So maybe I'll start with you, Daniel. Why are
Hmm.
you offering a men's group?
It's a great question because until probably 18 months ago, I would have run a mile from the idea. I felt like men's circles were places that I had tried to avoid in the sense of, I spent a lot of time with men growing up playing rugby and then going, in sort of largely pub fueled contexts into, group bonding that wasn't really very deep at all and that actually made me feel quite alienated from myself. So I had a very negative sense of what it would mean. But I went on a meditation retreat last summer which was exclusively for men, just by chance. And I found it immensely powerful because I was surrounded by men who were like me, who really did want to inquire into what was going on for them. And were really supportive in listening to each other. And I felt really encouraged to step into some greater depth in being a man, to be honest, being really clear about the fact that I like talking to men. It's just that I haven't felt that that was something that was so easy to do. I'd often felt that it was much easier to talk to women about what was on my mind, and that had a slightly different energy, of course, because it wasn't the same thing as talking to my peers. Often there was attraction potentially involved and other complications, and somehow being with men is very grounding and very empowering.
So inspiring, Daniel. Thank you for sharing that. And I wonder, Matthew, do you have anything to add to that about what draws you to this work?
Well, I think Daniel's explained it very well. I think for me, I recognize in myself that when I've done a lot of personal development type work over the years, and it's in the last few years that I've been engaged much more with men's groups. And I do feel that there is something that unique that can happen when men get together in a confidential space with a few simple agreements in place to make it safe and supportive. We can learn things about ourselves and also almost experiment with how we are. Like we can almost try on different ways of showing up with each other that we just don't normally have a chance to do in daily life. And we can take the insights we get and the kind of support and encouragement and really use that to change things about how we relate to other people or make deeper commitments to ourselves or connect with more of our creativity or perhaps step more into a leadership role. There's all kinds of real concrete benefits that we can gain from these spaces and how it works. I mean, we could spend a lot of time exploring why that is, but there's definitely something that happens when men get together in a non-hierarchical, supportive way that is hard to find, I think, in our day-to-day lives often.
If I could just add as well, I feel it's important maybe to underline the fact that there's something that's sort of human about what we're doing. We're talking about talking to one another, listening to one another, respecting one another, helping each other to feel that it's safe to express our highest aspirations and our deepest fears. And so it's not necessarily just for men in that sense. It's very hard as a man to find a supportive environment where that's welcome and where, as Matthew emphasized, we feel safe to let down our guard and really explore what's actually there, and then get the opportunity to practice getting more skillful at speaking and listening. So this is the basis of all relationships, whether they're with friends, partners, families, work colleagues. Having a little bit more mindfulness about what we're doing starts with actually feeling into what's going on for us. And a lot of us have got very good at trying to blot that out. The daily grind just doesn't leave space for much of that to bubble up. So making conscious space for it, I think, is really important and helps us to be more attuned to who we are and better equipped for sharing more of that with each other and the wider world.
I think it's absolutely fantastic that you're doing this work and providing these spaces because it's something that I think is so important. And as you both said, there aren't the spaces for men. Where do men go to share? I mean, men tend to have the pub or going to the football, but where's a space to actually really be vulnerable and open up and feel safe, as you said? So I'm so happy and appreciative. And as you were talking, I was thinking, I wish I could join this group, but I don't think I'm eligible for it. I'm sure you have women in choir. So I was just interested what the groups will involve. Like, how long is it? And do they have themes? And what would I expect if I was a guy turning up?
I'll say a little bit about basic practicalities, and I think Matthew can say a little bit more about the process. We'll be meeting for 90 minutes. The first session is on December 10th. We picked Sunday evenings because that's a fairly good time to find many people at home, at least UK time, although we are joined by people from all over the world. So we've got people zooming in from Texas and even further afield. In some cases, Berkeley was the last meeting somebody joined us from. Yeah, I think the basic idea is we have a theme to anchor a conversation that starts between initially Matthew and myself, that we open up to the group, and then we give people opportunities to explore their response to these themes and then to share things together. But it's a drop-in thing, so you don't have to have been before, and everything will be self-explanatory on the night.
Yeah, and I think something that's important to convey is that there's something really powerful when we sit and listen to other men speaking about what's really alive in them or what's going on at a deeper level that they may not often have a chance to share. That's powerful for the man who's being listened to, but there's also a resonance effect that often we'll hear things that we can really relate to, or we'll hear another man voicing something that we may not yet have found the words to express, but which really lands in us. And as we do that together, there's a sense of connection, of coherence that starts to build that really helps us to connect with ourselves at a deeper level, as well as listening to each other. And that helps us when we step out of the group and go back to our daily lives to be more present, to be more connected to how we feel, to speak from a deeper place within ourselves. And all of those things help us to serve the people we love better, to be more present, to be more available. And also, whether it's at work or in other domains, to really to bring more of who we really are. And that's really the joy of this work for me, is feeling like I kind of land more deeply in myself in a way that I can try on my own with different practices, and I can do meditation and all of these things. But there's something about this kind of group context that really allows me to land in myself. And that's what I really appreciate about it. So yeah, I hope anyone watching this who's a man will join us there.
We'll share more information about where you can join us, but there is a short link which I'll try to read out. So that link shortening website, bit.ly and then a /men-online. That's where you can find us.
Thank you so much. I just want to say I really feel how this work has come out of your own experience, and I really feel from both of you, Matthew and Daniel, your heart. And I really think so many men could really benefit from the space with you. So I do hope that anyone who's listening to this will really think about coming forward and signing up or dropping by, because I think you'll be amazed at what might happen. So yeah, thank you so much, both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Genevieve.